Thousands of years ago, Sigurd I built incredible engines of war, and with them forged an empire. The emperor married and sired many children. He even had a love child with mysterious Aurora, an ancient dragon in a woman's guise. Once united, peace was declared in Rivellon, and bloodshed soon forgotten. But Sigurd's realm of peace was shattered when his own sons and daughters rose against him. War returned with a vengeance, and annihilation reached new heights. Desperate to safeguard Sigurd's legacy, the wizard Maxos sought the help of the one child that never betrayed his father, Sigurd and Aurora's son, the half-dragon prince. He would be the one to save the empire from ruin, and to aid him in his quest, Maxos delivered unto him the imperial command ship known as the Raven. This is the story of Maxos and the Dragon. This is the story of the Dragon Commander. Welcome, noble dragon, to the Raven. This wonder of engineering, this miracle wrought in magic that has a living demon for a heart. Between the knowledge I shall pry from this infernal creature's cryptic mind and the avalanche of tomes, manuscripts, and blueprints aboard awaiting study, we will catch up with our enemies in no time and claim back the lands they have taken by force. Our task is monumental, but we will not have to face it alone. 2 famed generals are here already, loyal to the legacy we are trying to save, and therefore loyal to you, given time. I have furthermore enlisted the service of Grumio, an imp of devilish cunning that can fashion anything my research will uproot. Already he has created you a wonder he calls a jet pack. Talk to these men, get your bearings, and begin your conquest. If you have any more questions, you can find me in the royal chamber, which I shall use as a study. Good luck, dragon. May the divines be with you.
Let me tell your right of the bat bastard that I hold you in very little regard. Your father may have been a great king once, but this last decade, a crowned pig would have played the part better. He became a vainglorious fool, a sloth, and a coward. No wonder then that his own children could amass armies unperceived and strike at the heart of a kingdom in a matter of days. He tried to run, but he failed, and they slew him where he stood. Now the realm has been shattered, and vultures are picking what they can from his corpse by means of new and terrifying war machines. I'd say all is lost, but Maxos insists you are to be the one, the hero, who will take back the land we've lost. Excuse me if I laugh in derision. Ha 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 ha! Still, you are a dragon, I'll give you that, and of ancient blood. Prove to me you have the rocks to do undaunted battle, and perhaps my respect may still be yours. Henry of the House of Lanceford. More you needn't know. Edmund, he's called. A lizard of the House of Carcarus. In truth, I'd rather sleep with Syphilis incarnate than have him aboard. But there's no denying his talent. He's as arrogant as he is astute, and as ingenious as he is insufferable. Why don't you offer him a word of welcome? I know I won't. I believe he's in the bar. Probably searching for sherry. Just about the only drink that snooty serpent will swill. Aye, and you have titles as well, but none of them king, as yet. I'll address you with the right regard the day you prove worthy of it. What's on your mind, Buck?
There we have it, I suppose. The dragon son of a monarch deposed. Rightful heir to the throne, even if he was born out of wedlock. No doubt that boar of a Henry has already introduced me in his ever-elegant way. So here I am, Lord Edmund Augustus III, Duke of Hawknest Hall. I'd add at your service, but I don't think we're quite there yet. To be perfectly honest, I'd normally entertain the idea of lending my expertise to your cause as curtly as I'd consider attending a dwarven opera. But not unlike my fellow general, it is Maxos's backing of this enterprise that has me intrigued. You have doubt's benefit, Dragon. Let's see how far it takes you. When one dwells among the highest echelons of power, where ambition runs thicker than blood, distrust is your best friend, as is its brother, caution. In your case, though, the waters of misgiving run somewhat deeper. You are, after all, but a half-dragon. They call your kind dragon knights to lend an air of nobility to a lowly mixed breed. Not many make the distinction even, but the crucial difference is impurity. Human ancestry taints your being, for humanity and weakness are two sides of the same tuppence I drop in beggars' hats. A bastard twice are you, my lord. Bastard born and bastard bred. Only that it was bound to happen, for when an emperor weakens, his empire weakens with him. Now a litter of dogs is fighting for the throne, so maybe their dragon half-brother can walk away with it.
Greetings, sire, sprung from kings. I am Grumio, son of Gromio, an imp of good and honest standing. Your technician, shall I be, if it pleases you. Your engineer and architect. I hope you'll like my jetpack. It is my gift to you, to keep without recompense, for gladly shall I remain aboard this wondrous ship to tinker and toy, hammer and hew. She is special, this vessel, filled with wonders undiscovered. The wizard, he feels it too. The taste, the tingle of mystery. Oh, to unlock its secrets. Righto, my lord. I hope your coffers are overflowing with gold, my lord. I'm discovering new things every day. Well, my lord, when your good father and Maxos first started to conquer the world with their fancy machines, we Emps were mesmerised. None of us cared if we were being drafted into a strange warlord's empire, for if those were the weapons he wielded, we were all ready to welcome him with open arms. By golly, were we ever. Steam-driven giants on land, on sea, even in air. Oh, the ecstasy! Such wonders, such ingenuity, and jeepers, what cannons! Ever since then, some 30 years hence, us imps have dedicated our existence to the advancement of these delightful machines. Now, before those blessed days arrived, People regarded us as eccentric gnomes taken to experimenting with flame, gas and liquid like so many charlatan alchemists. But those days are over. We are scientists now, famed and fortuitous. The truth be told, though, we've never quite given up our love for all things combustible. Rather on the contrary. Not that you mind, do you, my lord?
Is there even more you require of me? I'm a general, not a nanny.
Never hesitate to seek my counsel, Dragon Knight. Tirelessly I study and question, in the knowledge that my discoveries will make you the mightiest dragon ever to have soared the skies. We too shall unite dragons' daring with wizards' wisdom. Nothing shall stand in your way. That is quite a tale, my friend, so bear with me. Since the dawn of time, beautiful Rivellon has been a stage of bitter rivalry, strife, and war. Haughty humans, all too lofty lizards, dogged dwarves, erratic elves, irrational imps, dogmatic undead, and yes, wayward wizards even, couldn't forego the time it takes for the moon to wax and wane without turning to fresh violence. Peace. The word itself hardly had a meaning. It was an abstract. Until after long and dark ages, 3 men decided they had had enough. I was one of them. The other 2 were your father Sigurd, and an eccentric inventor known only, even by us, as the Architect. We knew war would continue everlasting unless one king would stand up, conquer all feuding factions, and unite the manifold battling races under the banner of a single world-spanning empire. Easier said than done was, I believe, our initial reaction. It was the Architect who provided us with the answer to the question how on earth we would go about enacting such an unparalleled enterprise. He said he had ways and means to provide your father, a battle-hardened warlord in his own right, with engines of war such as the world never saw. Technology. That was the solution. For if we could go to war with weapons so vastly superior as to be unstoppable, every opponent would have to yield before our onslaught. Where the Architect obtained his strange knowledge from, he never wished to reveal. But in truth, Sigurd and I cared little for his mysterious ways. For whatever the source, our plans worked like a charm. And in a matter of years, Rivellon was ours. Yes, we had done it. We had created our empire, and your father became its first and so far only ruler. For a few precious decades, peace had finally taken on a meaning. It was a bright flash, all too quickly extinguished along the tenebrous continuum of time. Long have I asked myself that question. Yet the answer is as simple as it is obvious. Human nature. Love, jealousy, anger, grief. All of these emotions proved more fatal to the stability of peace than 100,000 war machines could. You see, Sigurd, the Architect, and I remained close friends after our quest had come to completion. But then, one fateful day, a woman of unequaled beauty arrived at court. After but a glance, there wasn't a man's heart in the room, not aching for even her mildest attention or a most fleeting caress. Your father, though married, courted her, as did the architect. For myself, I'd admit I'd given up the very secrets of magic in return for her love, but I knew rivalry could only lead to misery. And so it did. For bitter rivals my two friends became, and when in the end Sigurd was the one to win her affections, the architect left the palace with such hatred in his eyes as to strike me as diabolical. A year their secret liaison lasted. 1 year your father and beautiful Aurora were happy together. Then suddenly she died, and it took me a long time to find out she did so at the hand of the architect. Sigurd never knew. He was destroyed by grief. The mighty warlord withered, and with him, the soul of his empire flickered like a candle in the breeze, until his own children blew it out forever and hacked to pieces the land that was to have been his legacy. I promise I will tell you in due time. For now, I must keep silent. Please, don't press me any further on the subject. Though I said I noticed from the beginning her beauty was of such perfection as to be supernatural, I soon discovered she was indeed more than human, and that the enchanting guise we saw her in was but a mask. Behind it lurked the dragon. Yes, she was one of the ancients, interested in the ways of the infinitely lesser creatures we nevertheless call civilized. She was intrigued by Sigurd, his war machines, and his empire. It led her to his castle, to a brief spell of passion, and ultimately, her downfall. No one in Rivellon, save for you, Sigurd, the architect, and I, know of Aurora and how her death affected your father. As far as most are concerned, he was a great hero who all too soon fell prey to indulgence, sloth, and alcohol, which lost him the affection of his children, and in time started the war. They are wrong, but truth will be revealed one day. Rest assured that when we finish our conquest and I can spend some leisure time in peace, I will write his history, and yours too. Everyone shall know the tragedy that befell him, and how his son, by the woman he loved, rose to save an empire. In a few words, victory and destruction. First, we must vanquish all warring rivals for the throne. Then, we must undo the technology that enabled them to go to war in the first place. We will rekindle the Empire of Peace your father founded, and be rid of the apparatus that might threaten it once more. It shall be my honor.
Yes, Commander? The situation is pretty bleak, I'd say. But look at it this way, Commander. Means we can only do better, eh? Which one do you have in mind? He's a slimy kid who happens to excel at warfare. I once met a lizard who went to school with him when he was but fresh from the eggshell. Told me he'd always been like that. Smart as a whip, but a loner too. Hopelessly assured that he is better than everybody else, and has 10 brains for every one that we have. Worst part is, he may well have. But don't you ever tell him I said that. Which one? He's a...
Commander? Ask me if the weather is fine. Ask me if I enjoyed my lunch. And you'll get a much nicer answer, Commander. Anyone in specific? He is a bull that holds a general's rank, Commander. All balls and no brains, I dare say. But one can't deny the efficacy of his methods. I'm told he wasn't always given to such impetuousness in his actions. But with the coming of that prosthetic arm of his, came a change of character too. I'd conclude there's more to him than meets his good eye. Were I not quite so certain his psychological depths run as shallow as a guppy pond.
It's wondrous, my lord. Wondrous. The Raven, she speaks to me in my dreams. She tells me fantastic things, newfangled and new formed. I can make them all for you if you provide the right resources. Indeed, she does, my lord. A soft voice sings inside my head, but only when I'm in the land of eyes shut and mind at rest. There, she guides me to glory. Shows me things not even wizards could dream of. Yes, but don't remind me. My heart bleeds just thinking about it. Oh, but I must be like a chef, don't I? I must create delicate wonders, impeccable blends of perfection in the knowledge they must all turn into wretched clumps of waste destined for the sewer. It's a thankless thing I do, but I must remind myself the fun lies in creation, not completion. Can't be helped, my lord.
Do forgive me, my friend. I was so lost in thought, not even an elven ranger could have led me out of its wilderness. Does he now? There's an explanation for that, but I'll reserve it for later. Great dragon, glorious warlord. Once more you return from the battlefield red with the blood of slain adversaries. And let me tell you, these victories of yours have not gone by unnoticed. In fact, to my great satisfaction, another pair of dauntless generals has joined our company. 4 military masterminds are now on board, more than enough to start a campaign of conquest on a truly grand scale. No doubt you're as anxious to meet them as they are to meet you. So why don't you go to the throne room, where I've instructed them to await your arrival? Heavens, no. You have the military firmly on your side. But civil emissaries, too, are bound to join our cause in due time. Indeed, I expect you will be declared emperor before long. Yes, you heard me correctly. Emperor. It is inevitable. People have heard of you. The dragon. Their one hope of deliverance from war, oppression, and death. Soon hope will turn into confidence. And when ambassadors of the civilized races flock to the Raven, your political career will commence. You yourself will of course represent all humans, but the dwarves, elves, lizards, imps, and undead will want their say as well, and more. Still, let us worry about politics later. Today, it is your generals that count.
My Lord Dragon, allow me to present your team of generals. Edmund you already know, but I now have the pleasure of introducing you to Her Highness Lady Catherine, Queen of Westbridge, and Scarlet, not noble of birth, but the more so of heart. We 4 have pledged we will stand by you in your conquest as a rightful heir to Revlon's throne. Bastard no longer, you shall be known as Commander, until the day comes that you shall be king. All hail the dragon!
Hail! Hail!
Yes, well, hail.
Yes, Commander? Seemed hardly proper to call you by that particular pet name on what was somewhat of an official occasion. But don't worry, I may still slip up once or twice, even though my respect for you is in fact growing. You've got a knack for bloody brutal battle, and faint heart never won fair victory.
How's it hanging, Commander? I'm Scarlet, and you're a dragon, they tell me. Always wanted to ride one of those, though I bet you're a little harder to handle than a horse. All part of the fun, though, I reckon, so give me a shout when I can take you for a spin. Treat me mean, I'll scratch your eyes out. Treat me well, and I'll purr like a kitten. Your choice, Commander.
I would say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Commander. But as it stands, I must approach you with a bit of reserve. True, to know we have a dragon knight for a leader is a great relief, for such a grand creature inspires bravado in the many hearts that will have to be won so that we may overthrow the spreading dark. But then again, you are the offspring, the male offspring to boot, of a sorry line prone to decadence and corruption. The very line, in fact, that is responsible for the downfall of the Empire in the first place. Forgive me then if I do wonder, will this commander pass muster? Earn his wings? Earn his crown? Because they call us females the fairer sex. But in truth, we are also more cunning, resilient, refined, and downright intelligent. Give an empire a queen, I say, and it will be ruled. Give it a king, and it will become an afterthought. For like any man, he is content when both his belly and his bed are filled with a prize piece of tender flesh. No more. Men are simple creatures, Commander, and should therefore be in charge of simple things only.
It's going to take some getting used to, you know, to call you Commander. Verily, I was rather opposed to the notion, but Maxos in his infinite wisdom insisted we up the level of common courtesy toward you. Commoner would have done. Commander, though, it shall be. As much as it is in the eagle's nature to look down upon the world in hunt of lesser creatures, it is my genius that makes me soar high above all others. Lesser creatures indeed. At the lone top do I reside, but I would have it no other way. Those who do not understand, all but everyone, calls me a loner, thinking the word to be a pejorative. But it is on the contrary glorious to live in sweet isolation when all around you non-lizards, that is to say, inferiors, skitter and crawl like vermin. I am a solitudinarian, for my nature makes me so. And when I do have contact with those I loathe, inevitably I talk down to them as it is impossible to communicate on a level of equality when there is none to be had.
Yes, Commander? You triumphed yet again! Keep up this pace, and the war will be over in no time! Long ways to go yet, haven't we? But our side has a dragon and a wizard for its backbone, and that's more than the enemy can say. Which one do you have in mind? Bit of an ice queen, if you ask me. Already called me names that'll make your mother blush, just because my eyes lingered a little along those curvy shapes of hers. But I'll defrost her yet. And in the meantime, we've got a cunning strategist on our side. A veteran of many a battle who has yet to learn the meaning of defeat. Which one do you have in mind? Well, I figured that between me and the prissy brigade that Catherine and Edmund form, someone a bit more down to earth would be a welcome addition to the group. And let me tell you, if someone likes to go down, it's Scarlet. She's a man-eater in the bedroom and a man-eater on the battlefield. Fast, feral, and ferocious. Oh, I'll get more intimately acquainted with her, Commander. You mark my words.
I must admit you settled that last engagement rather decisively, Commander. Death follows where the dragon drives. A rather premature question, wouldn't you agree? What land we conquered can still be measured in leprechaun miles. Anyone in specific? As true a lady as one of her species can get is Catherine. Tragic, really. She held sway over an entire kingdom only to be drafted into the service of one who wouldn't have more than a flock of sheep under his command, if there weren't a wizard attesting he's a very good boy indeed. I hear she hates men, or at least our male-dominated world, with a vengeance. In her land, women ruled and men served. Must have been a quaint locale indeed. Anyone in specific? She's no more than a tomboy playing a soldier. I don't know much about her, but I don't like what I've seen so far. We lizards have senses far superior to humans, and I rather resent having to continuously smell her in heat.
Ah, to be in the thick of battle. With you calling the shots, it's a joyride rather than a jeopardy. Maxos seems to think so, and he's a wizard. They have uncanny senses, you know. About whom, Commander? Bit stuck up, ain't she? That's what a royal title will do to you. She used to be a proper queen and everything, with an entire country at her beck and call. How the mighty have fallen, eh? Me? I don't care for any of that rot. You got nothing. You got nothing to lose. About whom, Commander? Shifty son of a bitch, isn't he? Acting all high and mighty all the time, calling imps idiots, dwarfs dullards, that sort of thing. Makes you wonder if there's a single thing he's not intolerant of. About whom, Commander? Excellent chap, that one. Likes his jokes dirty and his liquor plenty. 2 peas in a pod, me and him. Well, on and off, that is. Can fight like a demon unleashed as well. Best to have him on our side.
Under my rule, you'd be given the Cross of Bravery for that last action, Commander. Well done. You know very well how it's going. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and outmaneuvered. Just the way I like it. Gives us a chance to show how viciously the underdog can bite. If you wish. Anyone in particular? He's in a class of his own, there's no doubt about it. A brilliant mind, but in my opinion, a flawed one as well. He styles himself as superior to everyone else, and that would be just fine if he weren't a man. Or a bigot. I have many friends and enemies that are dwarves or elves or imps, and never have I seen evidence the one is inherently more smart or stupid than the other. In Edmund's mind, though, we are all on par with cattle, which is simply infuriating. If you wish. Anyone in particular? General Henry is the typical man who thinks of himself as an alpha male, whereas he is, of course, an alpha mongrel. He has the refinement of an inbred orc, and the manners to match, but he is a more than adequate officer once the trumpets herald war. Indeed, if he were a bit less brazen and a bit more calculated in his conduct, he might well come to rival Eerie Edmund. If you wish. Anyone in particular? She could stand to be a bit more ladylike in her ways, and many consider her resistance to authority counterproductive in a military setting. But she's wily as a wizard, and tough as mithril nails. Don't ask me why, but I have the feeling she's a troubled girl somehow. A girl, yes, hardly a woman as yet. None of my business, of course. She is here, and she's willing to fight for Rivellon. That's all that really matters. If you wish, she could...
How can I be of assistance, my lord? We'll forge like not even a dwarf can, my lord.
Step by step, you bring us closer to our goal. An empire united in peace. Ah, Commander. No doubt you've had an eventful and successful day so far. But don't rest on your laurels just yet. For I'm here to inform you the counselors have arrived. The ambassadors of the races whom you'll have to duel and deal with in the political arena. Such is both the prerogative and the burden of an emperor-to-be. You may think your first duty is that of conquest, to bring the war to as swift an end as possible. But I'm afraid there is much more to being a monarch than military matters alone. As a commander, as an emperor, you'll have to constantly endeavor to find that delicate balance between your roles as strategist and statesman, for the one necessarily influences the other. Now, you may consider it strange that some will worry about the price of bread, and others will gripe about taxes, when all around us, machines of war threaten the existence of the very realm. But if you give it a moment's further thought, this is only logical. We may find ourselves trapped amid a conflict of gargantuan proportions. But that does not mean the average man worries most about feeding his family, about the little things that make for a happy life. And when you have been given an empire, Commander, you have to be responsible for every matter, every obstacle, every creature, great and small. This may seem daunting, but I have never and never will doubt for even an instant that you, of all people, will rise to the occasion. Your counselors await you in the throne room, Commander. Godspeed.
Aha! Shush, everyone, shush! Here comes the long-awaited commander. The dragon that would deliver us from vile usurpers. The one deserving heir to Rivellon's throne. Let me cut right to the chase, Commander, for I'm not a man who takes pride in his words, but in his pragmatism, rather. The entire realm is under siege, and the free peoples left need a strong leader. One who inspires. You see, there may be a war going on, Commander, but that doesn't mean you don't have a realm to rule. Oftentimes, political concerns will take precedence over military ones, no matter how trivial they may sometimes seem in these dark times. As much as possible, where your rule has been established, everyday life must continue like it would in times of peace, and everyday life concerns itself with everyday worries. The people will look to you for guidance in these matters. We, as their representatives, have witnessed your triumphs with mounting awe, and have agreed you are to be the one, the hero, who shall both restore the kingdom and recommence the workings of government. I therefore declare you Emperor. Long live the Emperor! Long live the Emperor!
May the Seven be praised now that we have found our champion and our Emperor. May the fire of the dragon obliterate every heretic in its way. May the light of the gods illuminate your soul. The highest. We are the chosen of the Seven, Commander. We are those that have known death, have walked its black shores, but then have been restored to life. You think you are alive now, Commander, but you are not. You are but in the phase of flesh. Yet if you are devout and sweat in service of the Seven, you too, after the Dark Mother has lulled you to sleep, may be plucked from the dales of shadow and given the perpetuity of the bone. Do well by the gods, Commander, and you'll do well by us, as well as all in the realm. We have many proposals to that effect, which I will bring before you in due time. So say I, Yorick, humble servant of the Seven.
Honored to meet you, Commander. I am Oberon, envoy of the elves, ambassador of the beasts, spokesman of plants. here in the hope that our new Emperor will treat majestic Rivellon with the reverence she deserves, even in these times of frightful war. Well, Commander, if elves were the only race to have become what they misnomer civilized, this globe and all upon it would exist in a paradise of such perfection the gods need not create for us a heaven. Such, alas, is the fiction, not the reality. Others, less scrupulous in the handling of natural beauty, have risen to prominence. They hack and mine, blast, drain, and usurp. As much as we can, we condemn and attempt to stop their misguided endeavors. We are the Green Mothers, unwavering paladins, and it is our fondest desire you, Commander, will join our ranks. Defend nature, and defend the little man, for they will in turn defend you. A happy people, one with the wilds, will fight for its country with redoubled zeal. To that effect, I hope we'll have your backing.
Isn't this a world gone topsy-turvy? I've declared you Emperor, and you don't even know my name. Sir Falstaff Silvervein, Commander. Born and bred neath the Emerald Mountains. There. Now that we've been acquainted, I do declare it's time for a beer. A prouder folk you'll ne'er meet, Commander, nor a more robust one. Best allies an aspiring king can have, for our love of gold and all things precious is legendary, and gold is what an emperor needs if it be conquest that takes his fancy. So listen when I give advice, for your economy will prosper by it. Liquid gold, of course, is another of our pride and joys. For ale a sparkle, we'd go to war. But our families, above all, Commander, are holy. Those manifold kernels that band together, and like the rings that form a chain mail, shape a society that is stout and steadfast. Yes, dwarven families grow as plenty as the grain on 1,000 wheat fields. And just like grain, it is from them that we derive the bread that nourishes civilization, and the beer that quenches its thirst.
By the powers vested in me by the great lizard lords, I, Prospera, endorse your newfound emperorship. Oh, sorely we are in need of a dragon commander. We are not a people that make great demands, Commander. We simply hold many a thing dear without succumbing to the excess of it. The dwarves revere their gold to such an extent it becomes a fetish. Elves abide so strictly by nature they become her slaves. We like gold, for it is an economical mast. We like nature, for she sustains us. Yet none of the two we idolize. Reason and liberty, those are our bywords. Territories we defend valiantly. Territories, alas, easily encroached upon, for emperors tend to curtail them. Our ideal is therefore not a monarchy, but a republic. Think on that, Commander, as you pursue the throne.
By Grumio's gadgets, it's a pleasure indeed to shake hands with you, Commander. Your technician is my nephew, don't you know? And I am Trunculo Shortfuse, son of Trunculo Even Shorter Fuse. Praised be the dragon! Ha! You want gizmos? You want imps. You want the unthinkable? You want imps. You want great, big, loud, bright fire explosions? Lords above, it's imps you want. We live for all that is new and shiny. The old, we blow it up. the new, we study it for a while before we blow it up. Why? Because there's always something even newer waiting around the corner. Science, Great Dragon, never sits still. Try, investigate, experiment. And with a bit of luck, boom! Ha ha ha! A bigger bang than ever. On a more serious note though, Commander, science is indeed our passion. And we hope that under your rule, we will be free to explore its limits. Damn the gods, for there are none, and damn petty morality, for it is a brake on progress. Back us, and we'll craft you miracles.
Here was me thinking the Pea-Brain Parade had arrived for your after-dinner entertainment, but no. Turns out it's the Council. I sincerely hope those filthy creatures stay well away from me, and that the one noble among them, esteemed Prosperer, suffers as little interaction with them as possible.
So they have arrived, the politicians. I thought I caught a whiff of hypocrisy. Better watch your back, Commander.
Remember, Commander, when a dwarf bleats black and an elf whines white, don't be afraid to tell them they can go sod themselves with a fire iron and choose whatever colour bloody well pleases you. Treat councillors like you would obstinate children or you'll get nothing done around here.
I hope you are well prepared for long and bitter discussions, Commander, now that these councillors have arrived. I know from experience the lengths they'll go to upstage one another and bring home the gold for their faction only.
Oh, lovely to see you, my lord. It can get a bit lonely here on the engineering bay. Righto, my lord.
Do forgive me, my friend. I was so lost in thought, not even an elven ranger could have led me out of its wilderness.
Gladly shall I do so.